with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Good morning on this Wednesday. I'm Mark Soliday. We've got another cool August morning out there, but we've got word of a warm-up in that first warning forecast. We'll check that out with meteorologist David Walter in just a sec. But as we get a look at some of the stories we are following here at Erie News Now on your Wednesday mid-morning, we are following breaking news out of Erie's east side. Police have one person in custody this morning after an early morning stabbing that's now reportedly taken a fatal turn. It all happened around 5:30 this morning. Here along East 28th Street, in between German and Parade Streets in Erie, police say they arrived there to find a man who'd been stabbed in the neck. Rescue crews took that still unnamed stabbing victim to UPMC Hammett. Rescue crews say he was in critical condition during that transportation to the hospital. Go Erie now reporting that that 25-year-old stabbing victim has died. Erie News Now has learned that police did take one person into custody, a female, in connection with this stabbing. That person still apparently awaiting questioning down at Erie Police Headquarters. No charges so far in this one, but again, breaking news out of Erie's east side where a 25-year-old man has died after an early morning stabbing along East 28th Street. Count on Erie News Now, of course, for continuing coverage on this one throughout your Wednesday. And at least one person had to go to the hospital after an overnight fire in the city of Erie. This one broke out around 11:30 last night near the corner of 4th and Parade. Crews arrived to find heavy flames up on the second floor of this home. One woman and a child did manage to make it out. We've learned the woman suffered some minor burns to her neck and back in making that escape. Early word from the scene is that a burning candle may have sparked this fire. Oh, the grocery store chain Wegmans now joining a list of businesses that want their customers to once again put on those face masks. Yeah, the Western New York-based Wegmans folks say they made that decision last night, at least announced it anyway, and they're asking customers to put those face masks on while shopping at Wegmans regardless of vaccination status. The move by Wegmans comes after Giant Eagle, Home Depot, Target, Kohl's, and other businesses announced similar mask moves. Down in Pittsburgh this morning, you're going to have to show proof you've been vaccinated to eat at least at two Steel City restaurants. They are Lola Bistro and Leo, a public house. The owners just announced their new vaccination requirements. They're going to need, they say, full proof of vaccination for all customers. The owner of those two Pittsburgh restaurants says it's not about politics. She's calling this a public health issue and says she's hopeful that other restaurants will follow suit. Small business owners are really weighing those masking questions this morning. Down in Corey, the owner of a store called Pippet says she's had to adapt through the pandemic, and they had a mask rule in place earlier this year. The owner says customers complied with it, and she says her and her entire staff are now vaccinated, and if a mask mandate comes back, she's on board with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to do the right thing and keep everyone safe, but you know, everyone has to make a personal choice, but your personal choice nets you your own personal consequences.
Latest word out of Harrisburg is that Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf does not plan to bring back any statewide mask mandates. And a big developing story from overnight is welcome news, perhaps for millions of Americans who'd been facing the possibility of getting evicted from their home. It's a new eviction moratorium, at least an extension that aims to keep those delinquent renters from being kicked out of their home at least through October. But it doesn't look like renters here in Erie County will be getting that pandemic-related eviction break extension. Yeah, the Biden administration and the CDC issuing that new moratorium after the federal eviction ban lapsed on Saturday. Now, this targeted measure would prevent renters from being evicted, but only in counties with what the CDC calls substantial and high levels of COVID transmission. So Crawford and Warren counties, they would qualify. Erie County's got what the CDC considers a moderate level of COVID transmission, so renters in Erie County would not qualify for this extended moratorium. Erie County leaders, County Exec Kathy Dahlkemper says they do have millions of federal tax dollars available to help out renters in need. And you can find out if you're eligible for that rent relief by heading to erienewsnow.com. And leaders of Penn State University say they're going to strongly encourage but not require students to be vaccinated for the start of classes. That's as schools and colleges work through their decision-making process with the clock ticking down. Yeah, most college classes start up in just a matter of weeks. Erie News Now's Lena Jonathan reports.
Young adults in the United States are far and few between when it comes to receiving both jabs of the COVID-19 vaccine. According to the Center for Disease Control, over 30% of adults aged 18 to 24 are fully covered. That same age group are more skeptical about rolling up their sleeves. In a study, the CDC finds 1/4 of people aged 18 to 39 years old would, quote, probably not or definitely not get vaccinated for COVID. For colleges, this might change their plans on whether or not to require that vaccine for students in the fall. With many colleges starting classes again in just a couple of weeks, students have to make the choice on either getting vaccinated to return back to campus or to stay home. Dr. Tanya Garcia is the acting secretary of post-secondary and higher education for the PA Department of Education. She explains colleges have a lot to consider for this new school year.
Every single community college or other university in the Commonwealth is deciding the best route to move forward. You know, many colleges have plans for in-person instruction, and they have a whole host of mitigation strategies that they can choose to adopt.
Our Lane and Jonathan reporting there. All right, meteorologist David Wolter taking a look at your look around. I'm sensing a common theme among those live shots.
Yeah, enough sunshine out there. Temperature is still pretty comfortable overall. You can see the area. We are basking in that blue sky. Down at the beach today, 75 degrees and sunshine with our Sarah's cam. So a light breeze today, really perfect beach weather if that's where you're heading this afternoon. Maybe going out to the zoo, certainly have fun. It is a little bit warmer today compared to yesterday, and that trend is up, so optimal swimming opportunities. We don't really have much more than maybe a couple of isolated showers in the forecast. You can see temperatures getting close to that 70-degree mark in Bradford, 66 in Jamestown, 72 in Waterford, 73 Harbor Creek, 75 into Erie. And our dew points, they're still very pleasant overall. We'll notice a rise in them as we get towards the hotter portion of that 7-day forecast, which I'll get to in just a moment. This afternoon, maybe a spotty mountain shower. Not seeing too much, but I think better chance out there towards Warren and McKean County, Forest County, if we really do see anything around. We head into the evening hours, lose the heating of the day, and you lose those storms. As we head into your Thursday, another shower could be possibly popping up in those same locations, possibly a rumble of thunder, but certainly rain chance is pretty restricted as we go over the next couple of days. Your zone outlook for today, we are expecting temperatures to make their way up close to that 80-degree mark. Enough sunshine out there. If we do see a shower in Erie County, it could be around the Corry Union City area, a spotty shower towards eastern parts of Crawford County. We've got temperatures in the upper 70s and maybe that isolated shower as we continue through the afternoon in Warren County. Temperatures will remain warm, but I'll tell you how hot we could be going as we look to that 7-day in just a moment.
First, though, it's a story about a Pennsylvania couple kind of stung, you could say, by a huge renovation bill at their home. That's when they discovered close to 500,000 bees in the walls of that new home. Yeah, they found, they bought this 1872 Pennsylvania farmhouse and said even when they did that, they knew it needed some work, but they didn't know a colossal colony of bees was inside the walls there, and it would need a complete renovation job as a result. The couple said they were aware, again, bees were in there, but once the experts started getting some wall panels out of there, found a bunch of them, 500,000, and some of them have been there for decades. We're talking a 35-year-old bee colony relocated to a bee farm. The couple now facing, that stinging price tag, about $12,000 to get those bees out and fix everything back up. All right, now to a viral video that's focused on one concert goer's pretty ingenious method of smuggling in alcohol. Kind of had the internet in worship mode. This is all in Chicago during Lollapalooza. Yeah, the 30th anniversary of that big concert this past weekend. This man, didn't want to pay the steep prices at Lollapalooza for booze, so it looks like he buried a bottle of Tito's vodka. Did it in the week prior to the concert, then dug it up once inside. A lot of other folks around him were kind of in awe. Some saying, quote, give this man a Nobel Prize. Others just impressed by his ability to track down that unmarked treasure. Others not so happy with this guy, though, because he kind of let out the secret. Apparently this trick isn't such a new one among seasoned festival goers. Hadn't thought of it, but once you take a look at that video, kind of smart, I'd say.
I guess, how does nobody really notice that this is happening in the first place? That's, I guess, my first question. But then again, it looks like, it's rough ground there, so you couldn't even tell that somebody's digging. Yeah, a lot of feet on the ground, marking it up a bit. As we go over the next couple of days, you can see temperatures up there into the middle 80s, maybe an isolated inland storm the next 2 days, and as we get into Saturday, possibly an afternoon storm. Still not overly impressed with rain chances by then. We move on into next week. We'll see a couple more storms around. Those temperatures pretty hot as those highs top out in the middle and upper 80s. Our record high for Monday is 90, so we'll be close to that.
All right, another half hour's worth of news coming your way at noon on WSEE. And of course, we'll be back on Facebook Live about the same time tomorrow for another edition of the Nowcast. We'll see you then.